And then now the looms. So for woven textiles such as silk or ramie or linen, right? And then what else was it? Woven textile, cotton. In order to have that woven textiles, you have to use the looms and then weave them together. So this is something similar that we have at FIT, right? Textile surface design. Their classroom has a lot of them in the closet. And then so the width of a fabric is sort of a predetermined, right? Like here, the left side is predetermined, and that's usually a body, like a width of a weaver. And then you can make a long roll like this. And then this is a shuttle. The shape is somewhat similar in Asian weaving too. So this is one example of showing Chinese example of weaving. So you have different colors already well arranged, and then you use your shuttle somehow. Then the picture shows that this woman can make this patterned brocades out of it. In China, for a very complicated patterns, you have sometimes like 2-3 layers of warp arranged so that you can make a more diverse patterns inside. So she uses her feet, and then she uses this area, and then she uses her shuttle. So these are again probably available since Neolithic period. It's not as elaborate, but this is a Korean woman. She's an expert of ramie. It's called Hansan Moshi. Moshi is a Korean name for ramie fabric. So this woman, I met her. She is the title holder. She's an intangible cultural heritage. So she learned this technique like from the age of 17. She's doing it almost 70 years by now. So you get the ramie fiber, like put it like this, and then you install them onto the looms, and then you weave them together. And this color is what I mean by undyed natural color. It looks pretty white, right? But it's not dyed for the white pure color. So originally it's this color, and then she demonstrates it to students and experts. Wonderful technique. And now let's talk a little bit about the significance of color. So there are 5 major colors and connected to 5 cardinal directions. So why do emperors wear golden yellow? Because it's direction, color of center, right? Like the country moves around, goes around from the emperor, right? And then if you go to the east side, it's blue. West side, it's white. And then the north side, it's black. And then the south side, right, the direction of the sun is phoenix and red. So if you have a palace for cardinal directions, you may put these in your mind and then use the colors accordingly. When you say blue, we don't have the Pantone number. Can anybody explain what Pantone number is? Pantone color number?
Yeah, so Pantone colors are basically, sorry, Miss Kyunghee, this is CO, by the way. But Pantone numbers are basically a collection of colors that are supposed to be like the basis that everybody uses in product, like across the board. So the color that you use for example, a plastic product like while we're in toy, we would use the Pantone coded combination. So there may be 3 or 4 numbers along with a C for coded. But then when you're doing something in materials, it might be the same number, but it wouldn't have that code at the end, and it would have a slightly different appearance because the material is different as well.
Exactly. So you are a toy design major?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for explaining really well. So Pantone is a company name, so they publish color chart. And then when you are working in commercial reproduction area, whether clothing or products or advertising, when I say I want that letter in blue and I want that part in black, the kind of black that I have in mind and the kind of blue that I have in mind may be different when it's printed on paper, or when it's painted on that glossy photo paper, or when it was painted on, let's say, carpet. Do you see what I am saying, right? So for those industrial production, they came up with that Pantone color chart with the product type and the number. So even the blue, you can imagine there can be 100 different hues of blue, right? So I may talk about aqua blue, but somebody will call it blue. Somebody may call it green, right? But that aqua blue, that specific aqua blue that I am referring to, has a designated number, right? But anyhow, so when I teach this class, like the red and the blue, but in Asian culture of natural dye, the red is not always red, this kind of scarlet red that you see over here. So sometimes the historical document, we have a matching historical document. It says for a certain festival, like a women wore like a hong. Do you know the Chinese character hong? It means red. But we don't know what kind of red that is. Is it pink? Or is it light pink? Or is it like a burgundy red? Do you see, the wide range of redness? So we don't know. So here, if you see floral medallion, a silk fabric from the Tang Dynasty, we have this example, right? How many colors are in here? Maybe you have light blue and then dark blue, and then you have some brown colors, and then predominantly you have yellow, and then a little bit of like a beige or something. So maybe it's like a 5 colors or something. But then, if you only see this example, you can imagine the mixture of these two, right? Like it will create more. So the brown will be included somewhere. So that there is a description, but then we have a material evidence. And how do we describe this color? So it's a blue, but it's not really ocean blue. And there is also light blue altogether. So again, between written records and then the material reality have some gaps. So that's why it's very difficult to reconstruct a garment solely based on written records. So I want you to bear that in mind. And then one more thing that is very important is right direction closing of a jacket. So almost like a Confucian ideology from the Han Dynasty. Han Dynasty lasted from 2nd century BCE to 2nd century CE. So it's about 400 years, and that's also ancient time, and almost equivalent to the Roman Empire. So here, there is this idea of right direction closing of a jacket. So when I show you, you will understand what it means. This is a proper closing of the women's attire. And the reason I am bringing up is this is, how can I say, opposite to our contemporary jacket closure. Can you, if you have a jacket, like a women's jacket, you may try. But women's jacket, men doesn't matter, it's the same. But women in Western costume, it's not toward the right side. We are actually closing toward the left side. Do you understand it? Or anybody want to explain a little bit more?
Sorry, I can explain again the same thing. Or somebody else can, please.
So can you explain?
Yeah, so like with like for example a trench coat or something. Yeah, a trench coat is a pretty good example. Men's coats they also close towards the left, but usually it's double-breasted for men, so it's like it's just in front. But with women, it usually closes over the left side and only those buttons really work. Otherwise, the garment is like way too like blousy, like it doesn't fit you anymore because you're not supposed to use those buttons. It's like styling for when it's open.
Right. So you see what I'm saying, right? So women's clothes, if you know, your regular clothing, we put the top part go to the all the way to the left side, and you put the button in the middle, right? Blouse too, and so forth. But in Asian culture, women's clothing is opposite. So this is in terms we say right direction clothing over jacket. And that direction is very important for East Asian people. Why? That is one symbol that distinguishes the Han identity from the nomadic culture. So in the eyes of Chinese historians, nomadic culture, meaning these people coming from either north of China or from the west of China, meaning Central Asia, because they were nomads, their clothing is very similar to the contemporary women's fashion. They close toward the left side. So that is a very important distinction. So I want you to bear that in mind in Asian culture. So do you see this women's clothes is a Han Dynasty figure, and it also goes to it's wearers, not you, like from the wearer's perspective. It goes to the right side. Okay, kimono too, from wearer's side. And this is the Qing Dynasty, Qipao, Manchu women's Qipao, same thing. The headgear is called Liangbato. So eventually you will remember all those names, but I'm introducing little by little. And then we had a class, and again explaining the, toward the right side, how to wear the Korean jacket. And this one is a fashion week, so it's a modernized hanbok. So when you create a modernized style, the rule does not apply. You can, sort of create whatever you want, but still, this one is also going to the right side, respecting the rules. And then this one too, if you see, this is armor, but underneath he has his own cloth daily wear. So you can see that it goes to the right side. So now I am coming out of it, and I explained the basic materials, and then also some principles like a color. There is, it is very hard to say that there is a color set in stone. Emperors wear golden yellow, and then the purple. Purple is more like a again, when you say purple, it's like ranges of violet through burgundy red. There is no like that particular purple that I am saying. You can search for it. There is no like a set color. And also, when you have a natural dye, how many times you repeat the dyeing process? Sometimes it becomes more saturated pink, the way I wear here. But in record, it will be called like a hong, meaning red. And you will see, that's not red, so it's not red. But Chinese character hong has a wide range of colors. So that is dilemma or difficulties of researchers.